Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 107 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So if you've ever felt like you are overwhelmed by a long list of to-dos and goals and this sense of when is it all going to fit in, you know you need to prioritize. Yet we don't want to do it because it makes us feel like we have to make that impossible decision of saying no to something that we really want. And if it was so easy to prioritize this thing, you would have already done it. So how do you prioritize when you feel that all your options are important, that you have no time for anything else? And so today I'm going to share with you the prioritization process that I use with my clients and why it will become your roadmap to achieve that health, wealth, or spiritual goal that you are looking to go after. So let's talk about why prioritization is important. So when you are starting to struggle to see results in any given area of your life, or if you have a result that is on your mind, you know it's really important for you to achieve, you must prioritize. Prioritizing means that you are diverting your time, your attention, your energy, your efforts to a specific area. It means that you are focusing. And when you are able to focus on one thing for a period of time that is consistent, that's long enough, you learn how to do it better. You practice. You are learning over and over again, and you get better. You are getting all your reps in, and it is a virtuous cycle. And many times, we end up failing over the long term, even though we feel like, well, I've been trying this thing for a really long time. And the reason is because you're spreading yourselves too thin. We're trying to do everything. Even within the one thing you're doing, you feel like I'm so focused on this one thing. I bet even within, for example, a work goal, you are trying to do a host of many different things, be so many different things to so many different people, and you end up not doing anything really well. You might be doing it fairly well, but you know that there's a level of untapped potential that you could get to. Yet, if it was to be done in the way that you're doing it now, you don't want to do it because you feel like it's hustling, or it's too much work, or it's too much energy, and it requires too much of yourself. And so this is what ends up happening. And we are in a culture where you have access to so many devices, to technology, so many opportunities to distract ourselves. And instead of doing the one thing, we like to do all these other things because we get all these little dopamine hits from checking off on this box and doing all these little tasks that have nothing to do with this goal of yours. So prioritizing requires that we go back over and over and over again, even though it's hard to focus, even though we want to stop and do something else that feels better, and it builds a muscle. It's the same thing as when you're training your brain for anything new. So prioritizing means that you know you will achieve one result. It also means that you know you will not achieve other results. This is hard because you are constraining yourself. It might be the first time that you are really doing it in any true form or fashion. You're focusing on learning how to achieve, and that is what makes it hard for people to do. I'll explain this example to you. You might have realize that you're ignoring your health, and you say, okay, it's time. We're going to make health a priority. You then add it to this long list of to-dos. You add these actions. You think you're prioritizing by adding this other goal to your life. Well, you see, I've got this with my work things too, May. There it is. I'm making a priority. But in fact, you are diverting your time and energy, but you're not doing it in a way that is the true prioritization. You're not addressing the root of the issue. because you are not trusting, you're not owning your decision of what you are doing and why and what will happen when push comes to shove between two different things in your schedule. And instead of working through decisions with this high level of clarity in the upfront and in the strategy portion, you just rush into a plan of action. You throw out a lot of different tactics that may or may not work. And this is how most people do it. And this is why it doesn't work over the long term. It's the same reason why we do diets or cleanses, and them in and of themselves are nothing, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's the way people do it and why they do it that leads them going back to the way things were. So if you've felt like you ride these cycles of over and under doing things, this is what is happening. It's why, for example, you might change jobs, but you still feel resentful when you get to the new job, or you feel if people don't value you the way they should, again, or you feel the same way you did before. And it's why you take trips with your partner and you go spend time with them and you do something really magical and meaningful, but when it is over and you come back, your relationship still feels lackluster. And so this is why when I work with my coaching clients, it is so important that we actually spend time making decisions about what is a priority and what isn't. It trains them to think about what they will focus on first and why, and in a very different way. They feel excited about being uncomfortable and saying no to other things because they now understand exactly what they want. We slow things down so we can speed things up. They create their own priorities. They don't just take other people's priorities as their own. And when you start to do that, you stop comparing yourself to other people. This is why we compare, because you're not running your own race. So when you have that priority, you've worked this process through, you're truly running your own race without making everyone else wrong in the process. People don't have to be wrong for you to be right. And there is no wrong, there's right. There is just a choice, and there is just different. And you end up feeling confident about your decisions and choices. And many people come to me asking, hey, how do I just trust my decisions? I want to develop that sense of intuition and that gut instinct. And it comes from being able to develop your decision making through a process like this. And this is why you get the results you've wanted finally. Right? Finally, the thing that you've been struggling with over and over again, you will end up achieving. And so the prioritization process that I teach isn't based on ignoring life's realities. And this is why most people feel that it's an impossible task. You do have a lot on your plate, different things. You have personal goals, you have professional goals, you have personal desires and professional desires. You have commitments already to your time, your energy, your money, and resources. Everyone is going around with 24 hours a day, and many of us have a pretty full calendar. So you need to be able to make short-term and long-term decisions on the daily based on this process. And this is the struggle. This is the struggle when everything is important. So in this prioritization process, we go beyond your initial thoughts of what's important and what's not. What you quickly go to, what your go-to always is in terms of your focus. And we ask a series of questions to evaluate what to work first on and why. And we even figure out how to create time so that you will make progress across multiple goals. Even when you are clear on your priorities and what's the number one goal, you will still make progress across multiple goals. And it is a simple concept, but at the same time, it takes work to understand, but it is the work of riding a bike. It's one of those things that when you finally get it, you really get it. And you can then apply to all these other things in your life. And when new things come onto your plate, you can use this process. And what we do is we take this idea of prioritization out of just those ideas in your head of, oh, it should be important to me to do this, or the desires in your heart, which is, I love to do this, but I could never figure out how. And I don't even know if it's that important. And it makes it a part of who you are. It takes all of this and it makes it real. It becomes the way you spend your time, your money, your energy, and they are aligned with your priorities. So if you've felt like you're constantly being pulled in multiple directions with 1,000 things on your mind, this process will give you clarity and certainty. You have confidence in your plan, the execution of your plan, and where it will take you. And you know exactly when you can shift priorities and how that makes sense for your life right now, because we'll track your priorities. Your priorities are going to change. And your practices of how you spend your time and your resources will also need to change with it. I will ask you, when is the last time you've changed the way that you've thought about your priorities? And you've probably had many different things that have happened for you. If you have a family, there's constant change. If you have new demands on your life, maybe a change that just has occurred personally and professionally, we will rework this process, and you make sure that the way you're spending your time matters to you in the long term as well as the short term. So if you're excited about doing this prioritization process with me, and you understand that you might have thought about priorities in a way that aren't actually serving you or aren't actually true, and you want to feel less overwhelmed because your life has changed and you need to make some moves to realign it, or maybe you've come to some new realizations and you're finally at a place where you're ready to make some moves, you will love coaching. When you reach out to mayemson.com/contact, you will schedule a consultation. In the consultation, we will talk through what is happening in your life, what is going on, what is the process, the solution to getting to what it is that you desire, and how to do it in a way that makes sense for you and is 10x your investment. So in our coaching together, you will finally achieve the results that you've been looking for. And we do it without hustling, we do it without overworking, and while enjoying your life. And I promise you, this is the best way to achieve. So I hope you will reach out and join me. Can't wait to talk to you. That's it, my friends, for this week. I love you so much. Have a beautiful one. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.